Hi guys, what it is yo girl Cadillac Dixon. I am the Draw My Life prison wife. I am the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before it all fades to black. Yeah, it's your girl Cadillac. So I'm coming through really quickly, guys. It is now November the 25th, 2021. Yes, girl. So this year is almost over and I just been looking back. I've been a prison wife for 20 years now, and it's almost going to be 20 years since he went up that road as well to the first prison that he ever, where he started his journey as being an incarcerated citizen. So we're going to rewind back. I actually analyzed, I don't have a list tonight, but I did analyze like some of the most craziest things that happened. I followed my husband for 20 years all over the state of Florida, from way up into the panhandle on the Florida, Georgia, Alabama line to almost all the way down to Miami, to all the way to the left and all the way to the right in Jacksonville and Tallahassee, all over this land. I done followed my man. Girl, but yeah, so I'm just thinking back on some of the craziest times. So everything couldn't go and flow right going to visitation. You already know, if you're a prison white girl, every time you get ready for visitation, whatever can go wrong, sometimes it feels like it does go wrong. So I compiled a list of all the things, and it was supposed to be 10 things, but girl, it got too long. So they all finna be in their own small little video. So this one goes back to that first prison that Marchello was in. Starting in the year of 2002. I think he might have stayed there from 2002 to 2004. It was called Apalachee Correctional Institution. Boy, that place was so freaking depressing. When I would go out front, like just step in the yard to get ready for visitation, the feeling, the vibe, you just felt like, it felt like the feeling that I get when I visit my mother at her grave. That eerie, weird, kind of dark feeling. That's how it felt when I visited there. Plus, I was new to it, didn't understand it. The little drab, brown, depressing paint everywhere. Like, girl, that just, But anyways, Marchello was at Apalachee. I had barely just got my license, my driver's license, but I did not know how to ride on the road. So, girl, which story am I finna tell? There's two around this time. Okay, so we'll just tell that one. So I didn't really know how to ride on a highway. I was so freaking scared. I didn't learn. I did really bad in driver's ed. Give me a heart emoji if you just did not do good with driver's ed. And back then we had the little car where the driver and the passenger would both have feet pedals. And the guy, when I got through my little driver's ed, he was like, he didn't want to fail me, but he was like, no, she clearly needs way more practice on that road. So I didn't get my license, and I don't know, I just felt it was so discouraging that I didn't want to get my license. But my father actually kind of forced me to get my license once I turned 18. Most people, they're so excited and want to, I want a car, I want this, I want. No, girl. My dad used to force me. Like, I used to get off of work late at night. And he would, as soon as I get off of work, he'd jump in that passenger seat. And he's like, you're going to drive home. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't make him make me drive home today. And he would make me drive. So I barely, when Marchello went up that road, I had barely had a license for possibly a year or so. But I would just drive our regular neighborhood roads. I never got on the highway. But when they put my man all the way up a yonder, girl, I had to figure that out. I had to figure that out. So before I actually learned how to ride the highway, I used to find somebody to ride with me, a more experienced driver, such as my aunt, such as, actually it was my aunt, but she kind of got tired of me. Like, I always wanted to visit him like at least once a month. And it was just not logical that she was going to go with me every month to visitation. I would have to rent a hotel, like not just for, check-in time after visitation. I would have to rent it for that day as well, because whoever drove with me, I would have to keep them in a hotel until, visitation is over. So I would have to pay for that extra day. But that's what I had to do, girl, because I wanted to see my man. But I remember when I was working at the super center, and it kind of came out that, my man was in prison, girl. They knew. I gave it away. It was a surefire giveaway, because we used to have 2 15-minute breaks and 1 hour lunch. And girl, every time we was on break, I'd be in that break room just writing. All these long, this before that corporal tunnel was really like whooping your girl behind. But I'd just be right. And there's like, everybody be looking at me just writing. They say, your man must be in prison. And I'm like, yeah. Because I always told them, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you I'm not ashamed of my husband. He's wrongfully convicted. And, I need help. So I have to let you know what's going on or whatever. So I didn't know. And it was I was wondering how the lady that, it was one older lady that had asked me, like, is your husband, well, your baby's father or whatever, the father of your child, he's in prison? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking I'm going to get judgment, because that's what you usually get, especially if you're a younger girl. They're looking down on you like, girl, you just crazy. He got your mind like all warped up. You just don't know. He playing you, this and that. So I thought I was going to get those things. And she was like, oh, for real? I used to actually visit my husband in prison. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I never would have thought that this older woman would visit her husband in prison. And she was like, yeah, back in the day, I used to visit him in prison. And she was like, yeah. So, and there was another girl older woman that she would hang out with. And she was like, yeah, where you going? We'll help you drive. Because I was talking about how it's hard for me to get up there. She's like, we'll help you drive. I could drive for you. And I'm like, dang, this is so nice. So what would end up happening is we would make it a whole event. Like, she literally got the other lady. We all got together and we drove up there. They, drove around, went to whatever stores in the city, and I went to visitation. I come out of visitation, I'm all blue. That's my man. You know how you miss your man. Girl, so I just get in the car. I get in the car, in the back seat. They in the front seat. And I'm just over it. You know how that ride home, you like, girl, goodbye. So we ride. And you know how you dip your little head up trying to see where we at, girl, how far where we at. So I lay back down because I'm still in this little depressed mode, little visitation blues and all. So I get up, she gasses up. Everything's normal. So I'm just trying to sleep this off, just trying to sleep this depression off. Finally, I wake up and she's like, well, we're here. And I'm like, where we at? It was some gas station. Sorry, I have to keep my hand going to bed. Carpal tunnel. So we're at this gas station and she's like, we're here. And I'm like, where? She's like, because he was in a place called Sneed's. It's right by Chattahoochee. He was in Sneed's. It's right outside of Chattahoochee, Florida. And she's like, we in Tallahassee. No, no. Wasn't Tallahassee. It was Pensacola. The lady that went down the Panhandle. She went down the Panhandle that away. So I'm like, what we doing in Pensacola? Well, I don't know. You went to sleep. I just drove 5 hours. Because the prison was 5 hours away from the house. She drove 5 hours the wrong direction. Oh my gosh. I'm like, you didn't see any signs that, you didn't see anything that like registered that, hey, this is not the way we came. And so, oh my gosh. The passenger, the other lady, she was so, oh my God. So let me finish telling you how this went. So she drove 5 hours out of the way that way. And we had to turn around. Drove 5 more hours back to where the prison was. So that's 10 hours. 10. And then it was 5 more hours home. Girl, we could have went to Chicago or something. As long as we was up in that car. And at a certain point, she's like, I'm tired. We all need to, because I think everybody just started getting so angry at each other. Like, it's your fault. You should have been paying attention. You the one driving, girl. Like, what you doing? Like, what you paying attention? Girl, but you, this is, like, we all at each other's head. So she was like, we gonna stop at this Boston market. We're gonna eat, have a nice little meal, and we're gonna settle down, and then we're gonna drive the rest of the 5 hours. And that is so memorable. My baby was a little hand baby, like up under my arm. Oh my goodness. And when we got home, the other lady was so freaking mad at me. She was like, yeah, I tried to go and we going to help her. The girl don't even, she go to sleep while we driving and had us drive that. Like, she was so mad at me. So because they was friends, the other lady that drove us was trying to be mad at me too. But I'm like, so girl, I don't care. You mad at me? I don't care. They could be mad if they want to. I don't care if they talk to me or that. If you don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to you. Like, whatever. Yeah, girl, whatever. They too old for that. And whew, it was a long time before me and the passenger lady talked. But the lady that drove us, she just couldn't. She was like, yeah, you know, everybody. Like, she tried to, for a little while, to not talk to me. But she was like, yeah, you know, everybody make mistakes, girl. Everybody make mistakes. But every time I think of that, I sit back and laugh. Like, what the heck? It took us 5 hours to get the visitation and 15 to get home. I was so tired, girl. And after that, your girl learned how to drive that highway. So hopefully you enjoyed. Why is this braid all out and weird? Hopefully y'all enjoyed that story. Just going back on memory lane. Being a prison wife for 20 years, you gotta have some type of sense of humor. Anyways, thank you for laughing with me. Thank you for riding with your girl, Cadillac.